All right, one more sound check. Everybody balanced? Everybody ready to go? Okay. Allow me to introduce Deputy Chief Ryan Bates. Sir.
Welcome and thank you for attending. On December 18th at 11:17 a.m., officers in the 1st Division were notified of a shot spotter alert indicating 2 rounds were fired, followed by an additional 8 rounds in the rear of 2327 West Chestnut Street. Officers arrived on scene about 4 minutes after being dispatched and found a man in an alley who began to flee on foot. After a short foot pursuit, officers found the man in a backyard. The suspect was ordered by officers to not reach for anything and to put his hands in the air. The suspect told officers he had a gun and eventually reached for it in his waistband. One LMPD officer discharged his weapon, striking the suspect, who then fell to the ground. Officers continued to give verbal commands for the suspect to show his hands. Due to the lack of cover and the suspect's access to the gun, officers were initially unable to approach the suspect. Officers then requested ballistic shields be brought to the scene, and upon their arrival, they used them to cover their approach to cover the suspect. The suspect's handgun was secured, and the suspect was placed in handcuffs as the officers began to render aid. The suspect was transported to an area hospital in critical condition. The officer involved has been placed on paid administrative leave according to department protocol. This map depicts the first ShotSpotter activation, which took place at 11:17:04 and detected 2 rounds being fired. The second one was approximately 17 seconds later and depicts 8 more rounds being fired in the area. This third slide depicts when Officer Hauser discharges his firearm. It's important to note the short time frame from dispatch to the arrival on scene. A short time lapse would make it more likely that an armed suspect would still be in the area. From the time the officers were dispatched to when the officer discharged his firearm was approximately 5 minutes. The officer involved is Officer John Hauser. He's been serving the Louisville Metro Police Department since 2019 and is assigned to the 1st Division. Arrested is Asa McNeely, who's been charged with 1 endangerment first and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. He remains in critical but stable condition. These are the department's safety priorities. Officers are taught that all life is sacred. We make decisions based upon who is in imminent danger and who can control the situation. Our priorities of life are victims and hostages, civilians, officers, and the suspect. It's not a ranking about whose life is important or not. It's about danger versus control. The suspect has the opportunity to comply. These are the Graham factors from the Graham v. Connor Supreme Court case. They're used to determine whether or not an officer's use of force are objectively reasonable under the 4th Amendment. They are the severity of the crime, immediacy of the threat, resistance level, and flight. You are about to hear the ShotSpotter notification, followed by the dispatched run, and finally the body-worn camera of the officers involved. Viewer discretion is advised. The first of 3 body-worn camera videos is Officer Hausler. His body-worn camera shows him arriving on scene in his marked patrol vehicle. Upon exiting the vehicle, he notifies dispatch that he has one running and then provides a description and direction of travel of the suspect. Officer Hausler clears his way through a structure and encounters the suspect. He then gives the suspect multiple loud verbal commands to show his hands and not reach for anything. The suspect put his right hand up, but fails to comply with Officer Hausler's lawful order to put his other hand up. The suspect then reaches for his weapon with his right hand, and Officer Hausler fires his weapon several times, striking the suspect. Officer Hausler communicates shots fired to dispatch and requests a shield. Officers communicate with one another, hold security on the suspect, and wait for officers with shields to enhance their safety while approaching the suspect so they can secure him and render aid. We'll then transition to Officer W's body-worn camera video. It shows Officer W saying, "Don't reach for your gun, Asa," multiple times. Additionally, Officer W communicates to the radio that the suspect is armed. Officer W tells the suspect to raise his hands and then runs to his police vehicle to obtain a less lethal option from his trunk. As he is opening the trunk, gunshots can be heard in the background. We then go to Officer M's body-worn camera, which is when the shields arrived. Officers with shields arrive, and the officers move towards the suspect to secure the weapon and assess his injuries. They continue to give loud verbal commands to the suspect, ordering him to show his hands. The gun is secured, the suspect is handcuffed, and officers assess the suspect's injuries and render aid.
Baker, have you responding to shot spotter at 2327 West Chestnut Street, 2327 West Chestnut Street on 2 activations. First is going to be for 8 rounds, and the second one's going to be for 2 rounds. They're both shooting off the rear alley.
Hey, I got one running southbound from the alley, black male, black jacket. Hands! Going southbound towards Chestnut. Hey, show me your hands! Hey, don't reach for nothing! He's saying he's got a gun. Show me your hands! Do not reach for anything! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Hey, get a less lethal. I can see the gun on him. He's refusing to cooperate. Put your hands up! Put your other hand up! Put your other hand up! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Don't move! Hey, we're good. Hey, get off the fucking radio! 112 David. Shots fired. Suspect down. He's still moving. Get me a shield. We are in the alley north of Chestnut, between 2-3 and 2-4. Hey, don't rush it! Hey, 112 David, everybody get off the radio. All right, we've got the suspect down. He's at gunpoint. I am behind cover. Get me a shield so we can approach him. Okay? Don't reach for your gun, Asa! Don't reach for your gun, Asa! Baker, he does have a gun on him. Asa, raise your hands! Raise your hands up, Asa! What? Get over that vehicle, I can see the gun on him. I'm grabbing him.
Hey, I got a less lethal.
Asa, show me your hands!
The units are sent this way to Bill Park. Split up page.
Show me your hands! Those are those hands! you done?
Okay, this is the slide depicts the recovery of the suspect's handgun, magazine, and some of the spent shell casings recovered on scene. Through ballistic investigation, it was confirmed the casings matched the suspect's handgun. This is an overview of our critical incident process overview. Moving forward, the Public Integrity Unit will continue to lead the criminal investigation, which the investigation, once completed, will be turned over to the Commonwealth Attorney for review. A copy will be provided to the state police for peer review, and a copy will also be delivered to the Office of Inspector General. Our criminal and administrative investigations are ongoing. Raw footage of the video will be shared on our YouTube page. The officer is on paid administrative leave and will undergo psychological evaluation prior to returning to duty, and he will receive any necessary or identified training needs. The Performance Review Board will review the incident for training, policy, and performance improvement for department-wide enhancements. So, welcome to answer any questions you'll have.
We had, at last check, he was in surgery, the suspect. Are you able to give an update on how he is doing? Did he survive?
The question was, can I give an update on the suspect's condition? The suspect is in critical but stable condition.
How exactly did Officer W, I think, know his name, Asa?
The question was, how did the officer know the suspect by name? It appears the officers have made run on this individual in the past.
And from the time that Officer Heisler fired his weapon to, I know Officer W was also on scene. Can you walk us through that time frame, the few minutes that it was before officers were able to approach Mr.
So the question is, can I walk you through the time frame of how long it took for officers to approach? If you look at the video in its entirety, it was just under 9 minutes from the time that Officer Heisler discharged his firearm for the officers with shields to arrive on scene, formulate a tactical plan to safely approach the suspect, and move towards him and render aid. Secure the weapon and render aid.
Anything else?
Yeah. I was just going to ask, one of the questions from our newsroom is, at what point would it be, we see him reaching for that gun? Do they have to see him pointed at him? I know last time we were here, we were talking about a deadly force situation in which the person that police shot had died. Was this a deadly force situation as well? At what point in the policy is it say, hey, do we draw the weapon and fire?
So the question is this a deadly force situation for the officer to fire his weapon? Correct. So the officer is under no obligation to allow the suspect to point the firearm at him first in order to respond with deadly force. They have to perceive an immediate threat to themselves or the public in order to utilize deadly force.
Kind of piggybacking off that question, are you able to say in this case that how the officers responded, was it the right course of action?
The question is, can I respond? In my opinion, did the officers respond with the correct course of action? And the answer is yes. In my opinion, they did. They gave the suspect loud verbal commands. He did not adhere to those commands. He reached for a weapon, which they both acknowledged they saw in their videos. So based off what I've seen, I feel like this is above board.
Okay, we're going to switch to the next one. Thanks, sir. Give me just 1 second here and get reset. Chief of Police Emily McKinley. Ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Emily McKinley. I'm Deputy Chief for Louisville Metro Police Department. And today I'm here to share the body-worn camera footage of an officer-involved shooting that took place on December 19th of 2025. It took place at 12:34 a.m. in the 3000 block of Bardstown Road. And you'll see on the map here there is an X that kind of highlights the area of that map where that officer-involved shooting took place. And, you know, I want to stress before I get into this that everything that we say here in these press conferences is preliminary in nature. These investigations, the criminal and the administrative investigations, are both ongoing. We do not have all the answers and information to make conclusory statements at this time. Just a reminder, we did put out the officer that was involved in the shooting within 24 to 72 hours of this incident, but this officer was Officer Nicholas Fisher. He has been serving with LMPD since 2023, and he serves out of LMPD's 5th Division, which is like the Highlands area. Again, a reminder of our safety priorities. So this is how officers make decisions. We make decisions on who is in the most imminent danger in the moment, who can control that situation. And so you see that gradient here. Victims have the least control of that situation. Suspects ultimately can control that situation with their actions. And then you have civilians and officers in the middle of those two. And this is about making decisions, making sure that we're doing things in the safest way possible, constantly assessing the situation as it evolves. These are the Graham factors, the Supreme Court case Graham versus Connor, how courts assess officers' decisions when it comes to use of force. So the court is going to look at what is the severity of the crime at hand, what is the immediacy of the threat, what's the resistance level the suspect poses, and is there any potential flight risk here. So before I play the body-worn camera video, I do just want to go over what you all are going to see. And so the video is going to open with officers conducting a traffic stop. This traffic stop is unrelated to the shooting. You'll hear a horn honking in the background of that traffic stop, and that sound will get closer to the viewer. You'll then hear a gunshot coming from one of the two vehicles that is honking their horn. The vehicles that are honking the horn, they're traveling northbound on Bardstown Road. There's two vehicles. The vehicle that's horn is honking is going to stop directly behind the officer's vehicles of that traffic stop. And you'll see the driver of that vehicle exit, and then you'll hear a volley of gunfire come from that person. You will then immediately hear and see Officer Fisher return fire. So you'll see that there's some smoke coming from Officer Fisher's gun. You'll know that's when he's returning fire. But just prior to that, if you listen, there is a volley of gunfire that comes just prior to that. The second officer on scene does not return fire. There is another officer there. He does not shoot. Both officers will then approach that subject, the driver of that vehicle, and render aid. He does have gunshot wounds to his arms. You will then learn through that interaction that the subject was shot at multiple times by the suspect who was driving that other vehicle. And that vehicle then flees the scene from the police interaction. You'll hear that the suspect talks about that he was shot at a gas station and he was chased to this location and that he stops to try to get help from the police. At this time, and even then, it is still unknown if that subject was shot by the suspect driving the other vehicle or by the officer who returned fire. That is still under investigation. We do not have those answers at this time. A couple weeks ago, I did a press conference and we talked about this incident. We talked about the subsequent arrest of Winthrop Taylor. So Winthrop Taylor is the driver of the second vehicle that flees the scene. He is the driver of the vehicle that shot at the subject and victim of this incident that you see on the body cam video. And I want you to know and be sure that you understand that Mr. Taylor is not the subject that you see in the body-worn camera video here. Mr. Taylor flees that scene. Again, we do put out a description of his car. You'll hear officers put that description out. And then eventually, officers get in another vehicle pursuit and foot chase with Mr. Taylor later that morning, and he is subsequently arrested. And I'll kind of go through that timeline of his violent spree that date after we watch the body-worn camera video. So I will now play the video.
It's like when your tires might be low. Yeah, I hate that. Looks like that one's expired, but it looks like you have that downloaded. Is there a way you can log in? No, she sent me. You share my partner when you get it, okay? Insurance. Get on the ground. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach.
They shot at me. Please help me. Please.
Put your hands on your back.
I got kids. Please help me.
Put your hands on your back.
You didn't see him shooting me? Fuck. Please give me to the ambulance. Get me to the hospital. Please. Please.
532 Baker.
I should not have got
The car northbound.
I should not get out of the car. Y'all didn't hear me blow my horn? I was telling y'all somebody was following me trying to shoot me. Look at the speedway.
What kind of car was it?
I don't know. You gotta look at the speedway on Taylorsville Road by
Go back.
You gotta look at the arm of my arm.
Are you hit?
I'm hit a couple times. I think he hit me when he shot me in the car.
522 Baker, Charlie. Should be a dark color SUV going northbound. Should be close to Bardstown Taylorsville.
Cheers. I'm hit a couple times. My left arm. I got you.
Sorry, yeah, man. Code 3.
Please.
Give us code 3.
Look at
Black
that speedway.
Tail shot in the arm.
Speedway on Taylorsville
Good shot, one
Road.
in the arm.
On Taylorsville Road, across the street from the marathon. Oh, fuck.
Black Knight. Non-description of vehicle.
Please get me to the hospital.
No description to the vehicle. Dark color SUV. The highest rate of speed going northbound on Bardstown Road. 5 to 6 shots fired. Black male. One gunshot, one to the arm.
One in my left arm too, y'all.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. I shouldn't have got out shooting, but he shot at me. He had already shot at me. Fuck, I shouldn't have got out shooting. Y'all wouldn't have shot me, dog.
Anybody else in the
Radio,
car?
that dark color SUV is seen running a red. Bardstown, Taylorsville, continuing westbound.
Fuck.
Left in Bardstown, Taylorsville, running a red light, keeping westbound.
That was me. Can y'all get this left arm?
Hold on, we're just trying to work on this.
Okay.
So it didn't have a tail light out, did it?
Yep, it did. I got a tail light. I got a left.
Tail light out.
Yep. I came all the way from trying to find the police blowing.
Trying to get a light.
Fuck.
Just pass me a rocket. Just pass me a rocket.
2 Charlie's gonna be wanting first. I got you. Anybody else in the car?
No, nobody's else in the car.
What happened before? Why were
He almost hit me at the store and he backed in, so I blew at him like, don't hit me. He hopped out with a Mac or some shit, and then he started shooting at me. I backed up real fast. I went on a high speed chase all the way to her.
None of our units are hit, correct?
Fuck.
all officers are 1086?
Is that the ambulance?
That's the police. The ambulance on the way.
Fuck, they need to come on.
Here you go. Where there you behind
Can you take these
a black
officers, these come from, please,
SUV
the
at
building.
speed in Bardstown. I'm attempting to stop.
Hold on, let me turn you to the.
My arm.
Speed in Bardstown to the top.
Hold on, man. We gotta turn him and see him up. Come on, please.
He shot me too somewhere. I don't know where he shot me.
512 Baker, 2 Charlie, detain 6 3 left.
1086 for us.
So this is a picture of that subject's gun, not the Mr. Taylor's gun. Again, just a reminder of the timeline. I showed this a couple weeks ago when we talked about Mr. Taylor's arrest. But again, at 11:30 on the 18th, 11:30 p.m. on December 18th, he carjacked a female in the 300 block of Rockcliffe Court. He then went on to drive to an apartment complex, Arbor Point Place apartment complex, which is in J-Town. And he did some sort of drive-by shooting in that parking lot, fired multiple rounds in that parking lot of that apartment complex. That was about 12:30 a.m. And then a few minutes later went to that gas station that you hear the victim here talk about, the Speedway in J-Town. It sounds like he fired multiple rounds at the victim at that gas station, and then went on to chase that victim in his car. That's when the victim approached that traffic stop that you saw, and the officer-involved shooting took place around 11:34 a.m. on the 19th. The suspect then fled that area. He went on to carjack another male in the 300 block of East Broadway. That was reported shortly after 2 a.m. And then shortly then after 2, officers spotted that vehicle around Terrell Lane. A pursuit occurred. Mr. Taylor crashed his car around 264 area. They got into a foot chase, and he barricaded himself in a crawl space of an apartment complex over on Trafalgar Square. He was subsequently arrested by officers and canine units a little after 7 a.m. that morning. Again, this is Mr. Winthrop Taylor. We showed this a couple weeks ago. That is the firearm that was used to shoot at the victim that he described, the Mac 11 that he describes in that video that you just saw. And again, just a slew of really extremely violent charges that Mr. Taylor was arrested with. It was some extraordinary police work that took place to get him off of our streets, and we're really glad that he is off of our street. Again, just a reminder of the critical incident process. Right now, the investigation is running concurrently as far as the public integrity unit is handling the criminal investigation, as well as the robbery unit is also involved in this with the robbery charges and carjacking charges that Mr. Taylor has incurred. And then concurrently, the professional standards unit is running the administrative investigation for any policy violation by any officer that's involved in this incident. The LMPD Performance Review Board will also review the incident and have a thorough discussion to address any needs for training or policy or performance improvements department-wide. So at this point, I'll open it up for any questions that you all might have.
So when the two cars are coming down Bardstown Road and there's shooting before Officer Fisher starts shooting.
Correct.
Is that Taylor shooting or is that the other guy?
So the question was, as the two cars are coming down Bardstown Road, you hear gunshots. You hear there's either a single gunshot, a really loud boom, and then you hear another volley of gunfire. And the question was, is that Mr. Taylor shooting or is that the other subject shooting? At this time, I do not know if any of those shots are from Mr. Taylor. We do know that the subject did get out of that vehicle and fire. So some of those rounds at least are from the subject and the victim that you see in the video here.
Do you guys know how many shots the subject, not Mr. Taylor, got off?
The question was, do we know how many shots the subject, the person that you see in the body-worn camera video, got off? I don't have that answer.
Is he facing any charges?
And the question was, is he facing any charges? And not at this time.
The guy that was shot that's on the ground, what's his name?
We are not. The question was about the person on the ground. We're not releasing his name. He is a victim of a very violent assault, and we are not releasing his name.
Are you able to shed light on the work or investigation that goes into determining the subject/victim and where the shots that he received on the arm came from?
Sure. Are we going to shed light on determining if he was shot by officers or Mr. Taylor or a combination of both? And so we will work with the medical team to see if we can recover any of the projectiles from his arms, and if we are able to cover those projectiles, compare those to the weapon of the subject that we recovered, as well as the officer's weapon, and potentially with those determinations, we could determine if he was shot by either or. Yeah.
Just making sure the subject was shot in both arms.
The question was he shot in both arms? I believe he was shot in both arms.
Jamie? Logan? Anybody else?
Richard
Yes.
Haswell.
When Officer Fisher starts shooting, who's he shooting at? Is he shooting at the guy
Right.
on the ground, or is he shooting at Taylor?
Right, so the question was, when Officer Fisher starts shooting, who is he shooting at? He is shooting at the person that you see in the body-worn camera video that's on the ground ultimately. I mean, that person got out of the vehicle and started shooting in a direction towards residential areas. The officers had no clue what was occurring or what had occurred. And once they were able to put that together, they were able to piece the storyline together. But the officers had no idea what had happened. But yes, they were shooting in the direction of that individual who was firing in towards a residential area.
You say you fired at the victim. Is there a specific number that came from Officer Fisher's weapon that you guys can give us?
The question was there a specific number of rounds that came from Officer Fisher? I don't have the number of rounds. Yeah.
Okay, everybody,
Thank you.
that's it. Thank you.